Hello everyone and welcome to the debut video at Leigh Junction. Today I'm going to give you an introduction to my 00 gauge model railway, show you what it's all about, show you where I'm currently at with the layout, and show you the future of it as well, where I'm hopefully going to take it. Now I've been wanting to start out on YouTube for a long time, so I'm finally getting out here, finally doing it, and it feels great to be doing. And I hope you enjoy this video as much as I've made making it and building this railway. So I guess the first thing is to just show you around the layout and show you what's what. So what you're looking at right now is the terminus station. Obviously it's not a complete terminus station, doesn't really have any platforms. Those Hornby platforms there are just temporary. So yeah, you've got a six lane terminus station here, which just goes to the wall there, and I can fit most of the length trains I run here at the layout on there, so that works well for me. And then as we move back, you can see you've got a 2-lane overpass which stretches over the layout, which I thought was quite an interesting feature. And then we've just got the 68 with I guess kind of an unusual combination of two GWR Mark IIIs and a parcel coach. So I started the layout back in April this year, pretty early on in the lockdown. I did have another layout before this one, but it wasn't quite this size. But the parents let me have a whole room, converted attic, which we haven't had a use for a long time. So I stole the opportunity, and it's a great space. It's a great space for me to do. Now carrying on with the layout itself. So this section here is the 6 lines from the terminus come down into 3 lines, which disappear into some tunnels there, and then the overpass on the right up at the back there will go into a tunnel port as well. That's just yet to be finalised. So the idea for this section is, so kind of the layout is going to be set in a pretty hilly countryside sort of environment. That's what I'm going for. And this scene here is going to be quite a fun project to do. The idea I've got for this is a sort of an old, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sink a canal just into this curve here, and have some old sort of Victorian warehouse buildings, and then rust these lines up, make them look really old and unused. And this area can be sort of a disused warehouse area, which was used to transport goods from the railway to the canal. So that'll be a fun, interesting project to do. So as the trains disappear into the tunnel there, this is going to be the largest scenic section of the layout. So essentially, from those tunnel ports there, all the way around here, all the way here, just up to where these slips come onto the main line, is going to be a large hill, and all these tracks are going to be covered. I'm going to need to come up with some sort of clever system that I can be able to access the tracks properly, because there's a lot of tracks here. Most of the tracks here are complete, but there's a couple more to finish off. So I'll just kind of tell you a bit more about the track plan, because I'm sure it's pretty confusing to the moment. So essentially, so the 3 lines come out of the terminus, and then they go into the tunnels, and then they go under the baseboard here, and they come up this slip and join onto the main line at the junction there. Now one of these lines, the back line in the corner there, that has a slip in just under, you can see that there, and that takes a line all the way along the back, which you can't see, and it comes out here. It's this little yard. I'm not quite sure what it was going to be. It was going to be sort of a mini scrap yard, but I don't quite know how realistic that is, because it's really small. So we'll see what that is, but it's another piece of interest, another piece of action. So that's what that's going to be. So as the lines from the terminus come up the incline and join the slip there, got a bit of a sharper bend there. I did want to get away from really tight Hornby cabs, and I have done pretty much got away from them, which is a relief. And you've got another nice raised bend which comes around there, and then there's this large gap in the railway. The trains do go over it. There is a bit of board over it, but this is going to be some sort of large viaduct. Not quite sure what it could be like. It could be like this, but we'll see. That's going to be another pretty big feature of the layout to build and create. So that's a project for some point in the future, probably quite a way off, but at some point it will be there. And then these lines here, so what I wanted was to have the main lines completely separate to the station, and obviously that's what I've managed to accomplish. The main lines are on a separate level, but with the sidings here, obviously they're great for storage, but also it means that these lines connect to the terminus separately, so I can have trains coming in and out of the terminus without affecting the main lines, essentially. So I can have lots of action going on, lots of busy traffic. And then I guess another key thing to mention about the layout is what actual period is it set in. Well, essentially it is modern image. I've got a fair amount of modern fleet, but there is an equal amount of heritage railways stock as well. My love for both are pretty equal, so I couldn't choose between the two. So what I've gone for is a railway set in modern day, but I don't have room to build a individual heritage station on the layout. So what I've gone for is that there's a large heritage depot or station somewhere in the area, and essentially a lot of that heritage traffic runs alongside the modern image stuff, hence why you're going to see a lot of it on this layout. So that's what I've gone for, and I guess it's vaguely realistic. I'll take it as it comes. See how the collection grows in whatever way. I do pretty set on a region of the railway. It's definitely southern based. I'm from the south, so it made sense to stick with that. I'm a big fan of all the green stuff. So that's where we're at currently. But I'll see how it progresses. I mean, for example, the ScotRail HST. I mean, I love the livery on that, but kind of like the other end of the country. So for all you model enthusiasts, I know you'll know that doesn't quite work out, but then again, we shall see. So going back to the track plan and sort of the heritage stuff, I'm not calling it a fiddle yard because it is going to be scenic, but extra storage space. What I've gone for is half these lines aren't properly screwed down or wired up, they're just there. I'm yet to get around to doing that. But I've got a turntable in the back, so the idea is I can have, this is for the steam locos, have the, whatever it is, a Tornado or 9F, leave the station with its coaches, come in here, can unbuckle, just here, go into the turntable, turn around, go along the side loop, side track even, and then connect back up to his coaches and come back into the station, and that's the idea. And that again just opens the amount of opportunities I have for running. So I've got lots of things to run here. Now, what does it all run on? It's currently, the layout is DCCC. I think I said C too many times there. DCC. Yeah, it's currently on a Hornby Select controller, but the size of the layout and the different sort of track elements with the station and the main loops and the yards, I may need to upgrade the controller to something a bit more complicated, which can operate all of this. For my first sort of proper go at DCC, I've probably bitten off a bit more than I can chew, but yeah, DCC is great. It's definitely, I mean, every railway is relevant and your situation is different, but generally speaking, DCC is a lot more, if you can get it right, it's great. A lot more flexibility than DC. So yeah, what else can I tell you? Well, all the points at the station are currently operated not manually, but by these switches here. Now, I mean, there's a couple like this one, that one there, and one at the back there with that little house which needs finishing. Those point motors are mounted to the side of the layout. That's because I've got a main beam underneath the baseboard going right under those points, so I can't sink a point motor underneath it. all the point motors are Pico point motors. It works for me. Now the points up there and the points over by the main sort of slip to the main lines, they've got point motors in, but they aren't wired up to switches yet. I think I'm going to go over that in another video, because that's another piece of interest. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely had enough of point motors. Trying to get all of these to work and not have any short circuits on the points, and I hadn't really gone this far with points and isolating it before. I guess one more thing to mention, or talk about, is the name. So on the description, you know, the name of the layout sounds like it's North Leigh. It's actually Norleigh. It's pronounced Leigh Junction. The reason for the name is, well, the area I live in, there's quite a lot of Leighs or Lies, whatever you want to call them, sort of north and east, and I loosely live in that area, so it's, you know, Leigh Junction sounded pretty good. That's the sort of accent which people go for, Norleigh. Another thing is that the going back to the junction right at the back there, that is actually in the north of the room, coincidentally. That wasn't planned, but it you know, it works. So that's what the name is. That's where that comes from. For those of you wondering, we just got the 221 Voyager leaving there. Now the another thing you may have noticed is a distinct lack of scenery on the railway. That is simply because I haven't done any yet. I only started doing scenery this past week, and yeah, so I'm gonna do a little video on how I've done that hill on the back there. Obviously with these hills, there's a lot to do on them. I mean, you know, this is just a basic stage, but as I said, I'll explain that all in a later video. Yeah, at a later date I'll be doing all the details on it, applying grass and weathering some parts and trees and all of that, which is a lot of fun. Just before I bring this video to an end, I'll do a little running shot of some of the trains whizzing around. Now, hopefully, when this video is up, I will already have a small video with a fun little running shots of some of the stuff going around already. So be sure to check that one out as well. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Feel free to comment and like all the videos, subscribe, and also I'm actually on Instagram, North_Leigh_Junction. I've been on there for a few weeks, so hit me up on there as well. So yeah, enjoy the running session, and I'll see you in the next one.